Hello, we are going to be doing a skill of the week for third graders on different kinds of watercolor techniques. So we were making our Christmas bulbs, and we're going to be doing some different things. We already made our oil pastel design, and we did a little tape design. So I'm going to show you some things that you can do with that and with your other spaces that you made with overlapping your Christmas bulbs. So what you're going to need is a nice fluffy brush to do your paint with, a tub of water, and your different, sorry, I accidentally hit the stop button, your different watercolors that you're going to be using. And you can use all of the colors that are available if you'd like, but you aren't required to. You don't have to. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take our water and we're going to make sure that each of our cups has some water in it. And you just wipe the water on the edge to create a little puddle in your watercolor. So we'll just set that down. And you can keep it on your paper towel so that you don't spill it, because if you pick it up, you're likely to spill it. But I'm just wiping on the edge to get a little puddle in there. Let me kind of pull it around this way so you can see better what I'm doing. I think I should be able to do it this way, hopefully. Okay, there we go. Can you see that I'm wiping it into the tub just to create a little puddle? And you don't have to stir those around or anything, because I want to just show you here. You can see that they're starting to shine and glisten. That just means that the watercolor is starting to get soft and paintable. So what we're going to be doing, the first thing, is I'd like to show you how to go ahead and do a wash over your different areas here. We're going to do that first because you need to let those dry before you do anything. So I'm just going to do, I think I'll just do blue over the top. Okay, so I'm dipping my wet watercolor brush into my blue and kind of rolling it around just to load the brush up. Okay, and then I'm just going to brush right over the top. Don't overbrush it. You just want to get the color on there. You don't have to scrub the brush in or anything like that. See, all I did was brush it on there, and now it's done. Okay, so then the next thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to let that dry. In fact, I can just kind of move that off to the side. And I'm going to work with this corner up here so that I'm not touching that at all. And I'm going to do something called salt stars. Okay, this is a really fun technique. And we're just going to put water into our paper where we want the little salt stars to happen. And I like to take a dark color, so I usually do purple. Okay, and I'm going to purple or blue, but it really works with anything. And I'm just going to get that dark purple into the painting. Try and get it kind of even. And then immediately I'm going to sprinkle some salt into the painting. Now I could let it dry a little bit. See how it's kind of starting to soak up the color. I'm going to let this area dry just a little bit, and then I'm going to salt that. And I might even salt the edges a little bit more. So while that's drying, I'm going to show you another technique called alcohol drops. Okay, and I'm going to use I'm going to use the green for that. Okay, clean your brush out. I'm going to go ahead and get a little bit of water on my paper. Doesn't need a lot. There's a piece of fuzz on there. And then I'm going to put my green on there. Notice that I'm not brushing really hard. I'm just kind of easing the paint right where I want it. And then I'm going to take my little dropper. This has rubbing alcohol in it. And you squeeze the little dropper at the top to get some alcohol in there. And then you're going to drop it right on. See what's happening? Little polka dots. Isn't that cool? So that could create a really interesting pattern in your in your Christmas bulbs. Okay, so this is starting to dry a little bit, so I'm going to put a little bit more salt on there. I'm just going to keep adding, and I think I'm going to add a lot to my edges just to see what happens there. Okay. Then I might even go back to this and do another dropper full when this starts to dry a little bit, just to see what happens. Okay, so then on one of these others, I got to clean my brush out, and I'm going to do a wet into wet wash. So I'm going to wet down my paper, just a little, and this time I'm going to put yellow down, and then clean it out, and immediately I'm going to put red down, and I'm just going to, look at that. Ooh, it just seeps out into it. Look how cool that looks. Okay, it just kind of feathers out. Now, if you want to keep adding more color, like if you want a little bit more red to it, let it dry just a little, but not much. You want it to still be a little bit wet. And then watch what happens. We're going to touch that and just notice that I'm barely touching it. Just ease it across. You could do designs, like I could do a little dot there. Okay. You could even go back with a little bit more yellow if you want. So I'm going to clean my brush out, and I'm going to see what happens when I take a little bit of yellow and take it in there. That's pretty cool. So see what that did? It just kind of bleeds in there. Okay, so I'm going to go back to this again and do another alcohol drop just to see what happens when it's a little bit more dry. Just a little drop. You don't want to squeeze that bulb very hard at all. You just want one little drop coming out. And maybe I'll even do another drop over the top of the ones that I already have there, just to see what happens. It actually darkened up. I have like a polka dot in the middle. It was lighter, and then when I did the next polka dot, it made it darker. Kind of cool. Okay, so now I'm going to do just a basic wash. And I kind of did that here, so actually I'm going to do a graded wash. A graded wash is one where it starts dark and then it gets light. So what we do to do that is we're going to get a little water again, and I'm going to put it into this one. Just make that whole area wet. And then I'm going to, let's see what one I haven't used yet. I pretty much have used them all. Maybe I'll just go straight red. And I'm going to brush, but as I start to run out of paint, I'm going to dip back into my water, and I'm going to keep brushing so that it gets lighter and lighter as it goes down the page. And you can always blend back in. Okay, so see, graded wash, I'll turn that around so you can see, is darker on one end and lighter at the other. It just goes from dark to light. Okay, and then I'm not sure what I'll do with this last one, but my purple, I'm going to add just a little bit more salt again, just to make sure that I've got enough for what I want to do. Oh, I know what I want to do for that. I need my paper towel here. I'm going to do something called pulling out of the color. Okay, so, and I can do that with, I think I'll just do that with orange. So I'm going to come over here, and I'm not going to wet this down first. I'm just going to paint straight orange over this. Okay, and then I'm going to crumple up my paper towel, and I'm going to press it down and create some little patterns. And you might need more than one because your paper towel is going to get soaked up pretty fast. I need to take these off because I can't tear my paper towel with these sitting on there. There we go. I'll just crumple up the one that I got here. And that's just going to start to pull the color up so that you can get little patterns on there and stuff. And you have to kind of hold it on there a little bit so that it soaks in. So look at this one. This looks really neat. Oop, I dripped down it. That's from my previous one. The nice thing is you can dab it back off. Okay, so I'm just going to show you like that so that I don't drip down the page. Okay, I need to clean up my little mess that I made here. There we go. Okay, so this isn't dry yet, but once this gets dry with the tape, and I can kind of wipe it off a little bit because it's mostly dry. Once it's the dryness that you need, the one that we put the tape on, we can peel that tape off and we'll see stripes there. See? But you have to kind of wait till it's dry. So I'm doing it fast so that you can see what it looks like. There. So now we have some nice white stripes with a beautiful blue background. And there is our demonstration. But you won't be able to see how this purple and the salt turns out until that's completely dry. I could get a hairdryer and dry it and show you, so I might just do that and then I'll be back. Okay, the color didn't turn out exactly like I thought it would. It looks really interesting, but it doesn't look, it almost looks like a solar system or something, which is really cool, and it'll probably continue to change as it dries more. I was kind of rushing it for getting it dry. This is how they usually turn out, which looks like frost on a window or snow or stars in the sky or whatever. And this is how the green little dots turned out. So they all look really cool, and I'm excited to see what your guys' looks like.